And hello, and welcome to my YouTube. I'm ALANCOOK, the proud owner of the MIDION, which is the painting on the left. And this is the Mona Lisa, which is the younger Mona Lisa, which the world knows about. But I'm trying to get the world to understand about the older Mona Lisa being the same as the younger Mona Lisa. And now we're going to get into some of the items. I'm going to pull this down for you to see. And this so happens to be the X-ray of the MIDION, as you can see. I'll zoom in for you to see. And there you go. It actually is spelled out DV for Da Vinci. D and V. But in between, just like they have the code in the LV, there's a coded O and an E. So he has spelled out LOVE, love. And that's the way Leonardo da Vinci does his works. He hides his works like codes. So let me put this down and show you. Now in the eye of the woman, this so happens to be upside down. And I'm going to flip it around for you to see. This so happens to be a dog and many other things. But before I flip it around, I want you to see a couple little trinkets in here. In here is this little board running around, and in it, I don't know if you can see it very well, but I'm going to do my very best, is like a bat with wings. And there's little people, and all these little dots are standing on it, flying through the universe and the skies. And this so happens to be a dog with a scarf. I'm going to flip it around for you to see. Whoops, excuse me, I got to pull that down to say that again. This so happens to be a dog with a scarf. Here's the scarf, this is a dog. I'm going to flip it around for you to see, and then you can judge on your own which, at this particular deal, it's going to be, there's a dog. That's the dog right there, and you can see his head. His head's here, his legs are here, back in here, and his body, and he's got the red scarf, and he's aiming up, and he's got his eye right there and the fluffy ears. But when you break that down, there's actually probably a million items that built him, and this is inside the eye of my MIDION, and this so happens to be about the size of a Lincoln head penny. His head and the Lincoln, that you'll see that if you use the top of his hair, not the back of his hair, just the top like a toupee, okay, is the whole size of my woman's eye. So you pull out a penny and you look at a penny and look at Lincoln's hair, and you just cut out the top of his hair. If you cut off all of his hair and cut it out, and you clip off the back tail area to make it flat like a pail, then you got the size of my woman's eye, approximately. That's about the quickest without getting into detail. Very small, okay? And these images are only a portion of what's inside the eye, a portion. Here is the bat that I was telling you about. This is the image, and you can see the bat. That's the two black eyes, and it actually turns into a cat. It's a bat and a cat. You can see a person right up on the top, kind of like in the movie Never Ending Story. And a lot of different images like a unicorn horse and other horses sitting in the background. And these are all cartoons. Here's a guy riding on top of another guy sideways, and he's flying. And no matter which way you told him, here's a man standing right there looking like Jesus Christ standing in the detail, if you can see. To me, that's my meaning of it. And it's right here, this guy, okay? And you can go. Here's the feet, and the guy's laying this way. You got another guy up here with a sword, and he's got a pointy hat, and it goes, okay? You got to look at all these. Here's a guy right here with arms and arms and what. These items, which I'm describing, are not able to be seen with the human eye. No way whatsoever. You would not be able to see this. Now, here's his scarf. Take a look at his scarf. These are bodies and images that make this whole robe. This is a robe on the scarf, okay? Huge. Look at the man's face with a crown. That's the way Leo is. This guy, there's no way in the world that anybody would know that these images exist except for Leo to be it himself. The images in which I've given you and shown you that are in the Mona Lisa and which is in the Midion are twins, exactly twins, but in different layers in each item. If you were to take the Mona Lisa, itself, and you were to open it up and x-ray it and say, where's these images compared to mine? Well, it depends on which layer of the x-ray or which way you pull the color, because you got over 100 different layers and you got over 100 different ways you can x-ray between the depth and of the x-ray power. There's a certain way you can use a different radiation, x-ray radiation to extract what you're looking for. You can do it heavy, you can do it light, just like if you were doing welding. You want to do a real heavy, more electricity bond in the business when you're welding a frame that's solid for a car. You got to turn up the heat to 220. If you're trying to do a medium size gauge item for a fender, you turn it down. The same way the same thing goes when you end up painting. On an accident one time, I ended up doing on a car and I couldn't figure it out. Painted this car gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous red. And I mean, it was beautiful. 2 weeks later, I find this wild, straight, purple, beautiful, fluorescent pinstripe coming off on the fender, and then a couple dots somewhere. And it was the only place. You couldn't even get to it. It was down into the paint. And I says, wow, what the heck happened here? My goodness, I don't understand it. And it come out, I got to think. I used to go around with a black felt, and I used to circle everything with a black felt to show all the little dents in areas I needed to work. And it was a couple areas I didn't need to work, so I left them and I just blew the paint over the top. It was where I just didn't scuff down that little item. It took 2 weeks for it to blow through the paint in transparent, like invisible ink. That was an accident. That was an item in which I didn't even knew I was doing, and I found a system. Leonardo da Vinci found a system that within these items, you're staring at it now. Do you know what you're seeing? I just saw it myself when I'm talking to you. Here's the eye of my woman, correct? Okay, we agree. The eye of my woman, which is right there. You can see her right there. That's her eye, okay? Wait a minute. And we're going to get back to it, and you're going to see what I'm talking. That's one of her eyes. Now, when you come on back and you take a look at what we've been staring at all this time, what do you see? Another stylist of the man. You know what that is? It's a bird. It's a bird's head, okay, with the beak, okay, and you got the eye over here and the little mouth and everything, okay? You follow his works. He blends in his works, and he lays down his images like totem poles. I get super excited, excuse my excitement, but when you got great art and you got great items that you see that is so beautiful you want the whole world to see, it's pretty hard to contain yourself. It's kind of like, you know, your 50th birthday. You got all your friends there you hadn't seen for years. You get excited. Every day of my life that I have had this painting that I've been working on for over 7 years, there hasn't been one day that I haven't thanked God, that I haven't turned around and talked to my father of his help and his passing, that I have left in tribute to my father, that I have helped in signs through from above, through the helping of God and my father, and my blessing. Thank God my mom's still alive. That I have appreciated, that I have seen something so wild, so great, so awesome that's in this painting. Every time that shocks me, I have to spend 15 minutes sometimes to actually leave, that I cannot believe my eyes of what I seen that somebody can do. It gets really, really, really heavy. I got one more item, and then I'm going to have to say good night for the night. This would be like my 15th YouTube for today. Okay? So, right here, if you take a look, that's an image that so happens to be in the Midion again. And when you close it on down, it's like a big old kind kind of like blue ghost sheet, okay? And when you see this big old guy blue ghost sheet, as you see, but that's a puppy dog, see? He's got a puppy dog in there. That's just looks like my dog's face, okay? But when you get into it, and you get into the one little particular image that's in here that we're going to blow up right there, those are people, okay? And those people, you see them right there? They are all in there of being, okay? Those are images. And the percentages is if I go through his works, this is in his works of his art that's in his books. Or maybe the Battle of Algeria. I found the Battle of Algeria. I found the Walking Lady. I found the many of his sketchings and many of his writings, and I found it in the Mona Lisa. I found all this stuff. And whoops! And I kind of got ahead of myself of telling you that was my last one. I do have one more. This is one that's awesome. This so happens to be in the dress. If you actually take a look, it so happens he's got his top hat. He's got a bird right here. You know he's the bird man. This is the face. This is a face right here, and this is a face kind of like Liz Taylor, and another body face, and another face. And this is an arm that comes down, and another hand that comes, and they're like together praying. And here the two are side by side. I actually call it the wedding day. It looks like it. And when you actually come out to take a look, you get into this particular image right here, and if you really stare at it, it's an upside down face and it's an upright face. You can see the nose and the eyes and the mouth. And he puts all these images that build. And if you take a look, it's a funny looking cartoonish dog with a black nose and a black eye. And it goes, here's a person right here. It goes endless. He makes all these things. Here's a person building on top of another person. Here's a head. 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 And then these are bodies running down. Bodies running down. You really have to see this thing like on a big old movie theater screen. And I wish I could do that for you, but I don't have the funds. And I do have a 100-inch screen. I've got to get that going. And I'm going to close out. I'm going to let you know that I appreciate all the comments. I'm going to give you my phone number. My phone number is 707-568-7022. My name is Alan Cook. I can really need some financial assistance or some help in knowing how to make money on YouTube. Oh boy, one more, I forgot. This actually spells out Leonardo. As you see, Leonardo, okay, it actually spells it out in black. It also spells it out in white. And when you get into it, he has hidden. So if you use the stars, as you can see, L, and then this is an E, okay, and then you got O, and then he does his slash, and then he's got an A, and then he's got an upside down R, and then you got a D, and then you got an O. But when you go across it, also spells it with the L, and then he puts an E in here and the O. And then if you actually get into detail, you'll actually see the S's that flow through here, and it spells out Sali. And then if you really get into it again, it spells out Melzi Francisca. It's actually got 3. In the beginning, when I first started, I thought it was only Melzi Francisca, but it's not. It's all 3. He's got all his friends and lovers in here, and he uses the tricks in codes. You can take a letter named with an M and change it into an N. If you open it up wider, you'll find a gap. If you see it from a distance, a circle. So he's got an M that's a circle, and he's got an M that's an M, and he's got an M that's an N. And he also, if you break it again and you get bigger and bigger, it's an R, and it continues. And if you really look at it from a distance and you do the right slur on the M, it's an S, and then it can be a T, and it goes endless and endless. Each depth, each item, he can do probably 20 alphabets out of one letter, depending upon the depth of the shadows and builds and chemicals that he uses, and his own mathematics. It gets really heavy. I learned a lot with the man, and I'm really blessed to have the opportunity from God that has put me into the path of trying to tell the world of such a great genius that landed on this earth to inspire us all. And I want to thank you all for, again, for subscribing, for being with us, and for see, cartoon just in the L. There's guys turned sideways. I can't help myself. I'm sorry. See, there's the guy right there. Here's his face holding another guy sideways right here in his arm. Okay, and that's the L, and that's another person. This is spelling out. Now this cannot be seen with the human eye. There's the D. Okay, there's the O. It goes endless. This guy is the tricks of tricks. Things in which you can't imagine that a human being could do. This guy does things smaller, and I'm only guessing because I'm not a brain surgeon, but it sure seems that these items are smaller than what they use for brain surgery. I don't know if that's a fact, but can you imagine in 1464 when he started till 1519 to have that type of technology to do something this small? How he did it, I have some theories. Follow some of my YouTubes, but all I know is I'm the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. These are images. These are real. Nothing's been altered. Again, God bless the whole world, the universe, and the heavens, and you have a beautiful, beautiful night, and safe night, and stay indoors, and stay healthy. Amen.